Cheers, Jags. Morning, Hooley. Morning, Jeffo. I know about cheers. Pinky's up. What up, Thunder Dan? My man. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday the something. It's definitely September. We got the weather changes going on. It's not quite summer, not quite fall. You know, it's that weird in-betweeny kind of stage. We got G-Bay hanging out in Jumanji land back there, waiting for Alan Parrish to finish the game so he can be transported back home to real world. And I don't think he wants to go back to the real world because it looks like he's having fun out there in Jumanji land. Looks like a good time. Before we go any further, I would like to thank Dana White and the UFC for putting on a huge, stinky, rotten, putrid, festered piece of shit pay-per-view card last night. I can't believe people actually paid money for that. I proudly proclaim that I pirated the shit out of that. I did not pay for that steaming pile of shit that they put on right there. And if the UFC would like me to start paying for their pay-per-views, start putting on decent fucking cards. Fuck you, Dana White and the UFC. I am glad I did not pay for that.
You have to actually start like treating his fighters like real human beings and, you know, paying them a real wage to do what they do. That'd be the first thing.
That would be amazing to see. That would be amazing to see. You know, one of the, like the Jake Paul guy, fucking, I got a bit of a love-hate for that fucking guy because he's annoying as shit. But at the same time, he's getting results and doing his thing. The one thing I fucking loved was when him and Anderson Silva were friggin' talking and fighting and all that and getting ready to do their thing where Jake was talking about if he wins, Anderson Silva has to help him start like a fighters union within the UFC for fair pay benefits and all that shit. And I was all for it. Like, come on, please make that happen. Just because the thought of that fucking, the bald-headed vein bulge that Dana White would have, just womp, 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 what? Fair wages to my fighters? Womp, 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 womp. Like, you know, it's like, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I love combat sports, but if you're gonna fucking charge people through the nose for a card, make it a decent card worth paying for. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Considering that dude's been taking an exorbitant amounts of money from people for years for subpar fights, you think he'd be able to fund a decent fight?
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, on off of the topic of douchebags, look at those. It's like sexy glasses man day today, huh? I got my old man fucking spectacles on so I could read today. I see you got yours rocking. Gee,
would that emit the same thing we get from like librarians?
Yeah.
Ladies, let us know. Does the black rim glasses give off the librarian, the Clark Kent, maybe? I don't know.
Like dad bod and fucking old man glasses.
Do you know how happy that would make me to be compared to like the sexy librarian look I tell my old lady she has when she puts her glasses on?
I'm trying for you, Caribou.
Yes.
I'm on a tight t-shirt, so woo.
Hey, at the very least, can I be like the dude that works behind the till at a bookstore or something like that? If I can't be the sexy librarian. You're the guy behind the till at the porn shop. The creepy weirdo. What's everybody smoking on this morning?
I've got some Nakatomi Plaza number 2. Because that number 6 never even made it off the kitchen table when Magpie was here.
I think that's that's the one that I've still got some left of last night.
Yeah, number 6 would have never made it into any baggies and made it anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. Good to know.
just so you know.
I got to wake and bake yesterday with some of the Chem 91 that you sent over from Magpie there, and that shit was fucking great. I absolutely love that. That and the 44 dogs are my favorite. I liked everything that you've sent my way. It's good stuff, but if you got to pick favorite children, I'm all for the Chem 91 and the 44 dogs. It's so good, man. And like Chem 91, it's something that's been a long time favorite. A favorite of a lot of people. One thing I really like about, well, free weed is awesome. Don't get me wrong. We all like free weed, but when you get like a party pack like G-Bay, the way you sent to me, you know those like little cereal boxes where you get like the Fruit Loops and the Corn Pops and a whole bunch of little different ones. It was like that, but like with weed, a million different samples of all this different stuff. And I'm just like, yeehaw, because we all grow different stuff is where I'm getting at. What I've got in my garden is different what Fluff's got in his garden. It's different than what G-Bay's got in his garden, different than what Magpie had in his garden and shipped this way. So you're getting to try out a whole bunch of new stuff that you wouldn't typically have had the chance to try out. And I absolutely love it. Shout out to the power of this amazing community. That would actually be sweet. I think you might be muted. I hear no voice.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was muted. I just think he's off a little bit right there. I don't think it'd be a comic book store. I think it'd be a record store. So
that would actually be my dream job right there. I have said that for going back to like elementary, or maybe not elementary school, but like high school, that if you like back in the days of CDs, or we're all old enough that we all still know what CDs are around here, but that would have been absolutely the dream. To be able to just go and hang out around music all day long. I can't play music for my life if my life depended on it, but I can listen to it like a motherfucker. I'm expert when it comes to listening to that shit.
Right. I know how to fucking set the levels in my car and make sure that everybody in the 3-block radius can hear my shit too.
Yep. It's like, if you've ever seen that, the meme, there's a couple different versions of it, but it's like, when I don't always, it's the Dos Equis guy. It's like, I don't always listen to Pantera, but when I do, so do the neighbors.
That's right. That's exactly it. I don't usually listen to metal, but when I do, so does everybody else.
Yeah. I've got like a really good thumping house stereo that hasn't been used even once since Ashley and I have been together. And there's times where so like listening to music around here, you're listening to it off the TV or something like that, right? Where it's not good quality sound. And I want to bring the stereo in here, but I know that's just asking for fucking trouble, because I could start off and honestly, be honest about it, say, I'm just going to listen to it a little volume, right? That doesn't last long. Who are you fooling? You might be able to listen to a little volume until the first really good song comes on, and then it's fucking whump, up it goes, and you got neighbors banging walls and stuff. So we're try not to
not even capable of listening to like a fucking movie at reasonable volumes if it's a good movie.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, yeah, I basically what I'm getting at is I've been evicted from apartment buildings before, and that was before I had the stereo I have now. So in the efforts to practice good neighbor policy, we'll just not. Yes, Operation. I watched Sean O'Malley get his ass absolutely fucking whooped last night. He did not show up in that fight. Well, he got like a combo in the 5th round, and that was about it. Like those toe kicks right near the end there, where it's like 30 seconds left in the fight, and if he kicks him in the gut like 8 more times, then he might have had a chance. But yeah, that was shit card though, man. Shit card. Let's go back to weed talk though, because G-Bay doesn't give a shit about UFC.
Well,
Fluff only cares about fights if it's not UFC, and
I used to like it a lot when I used to run them in the bars and get out to
right. Yeah, when Dana White didn't solely own it, that's pretty much it. Anyway, see, once again, it all just rolls back to that terrible person at top. Anyway,
poopy. No, I'm out here in the land of love, man. Check this shit out.
Fucking there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Mint. This is where I like to be in the garden, like the veg stage. It's beautiful. You get to watch everything grow and get their structure built up and go to where they're going to be. But then,
I'm trying to see this back corner right here over to your right side.
Well, I've got enough juice in the computer here. Let's unplug and go for a little stroll. Let's get the
all right.
We like strolls.
Yeah, it took me a full day basically to skin these girls out again. I had to get right in there, take everything out from underneath. I don't know if this is going to show you much, but they're completely hollowed all the way up.
Nice and open.
You know, there's about a 2-foot canopy on top and then a little less all the way around the side. But I got in there and got, like I'm talking, I was dropping branches.
Hollowed right out.
I don't mess with that stuff because it comes back to haunt you at the end of the season. It'll just fucking cause rot all over the place. So I still got to get in here, but I really like to try to show you the buds, like the stacking structure there. Look at fucking in a row, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buds right there.
Oh yeah, and by the end of that fucking growth season, that's just gonna be one big ass bud.
Yeah, same with these, all these tops here.
Hell yes.
I'm telling you, that's awesome.
What's that one there?
I'm just under 6 feet, right? So.
What's that one you're at?
This is Bam.
Okay.
Bam number 3. This is the big, tall one with lots of colas on it. And then these two are more of a globular structure, but they still just got spears on them. Just spear, boom, boom, all the way. So I've taken out all that useless crap in the center, so I don't got to deal with that later. Every year I take it a little more because I just don't want to deal with it. It goes into my... I just fucking turn it into compost right here. Grape Hoolie. This thing's got that wicked Christmas tree look. Like you see the long branch, little slightly, you know, all the way to the top. Perfect triangular shape. Stacking super nice. Got nice thin bladed leaves on it. Nice, super healthy. Bam. Got another Hawaiian here. These aren't going to finish, so we won't even really get into those. There was an experiment, kind of.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with seeds, dude.
Then this is the Queen Hawaiian. This one is where it's at, because that top up there, that's way up there still. And that's 8 feet where my hand is. That's probably nine and a bit feet. But we're hoping to get some flower out of them. I'll have to build a structure maybe to tuck them in for the late bit of October and into November, but should be all right. Garlic stacking nice on us. Get her into the sunlight if I can. There we go. Not as far along as I'd like it, the whole garden, but I've been in this position the last 3 or 4 years. It's coming to this time of the year, and I'm kind of lacking on the bud, and then it just, you know, the last 4 or 5 weeks pushing into like the first week of November, which not ideal, but it is what it is. And then this one here, this one will be probably the first finisher. This is the Mendo Breath. Now it's just covered in buds. And the good thing about it is these are 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the rest of the gang. Quite a bit of structure to those flowers already, nice and thick. Oh yeah, it's got that, I want to say meat terps, but it's not really meat. It's like spicy. Well, I guess black pepper, something in there.
I like black pepper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Hawaiian, man, she's gonna be nice. There's a little bit too much bud in this garden right now for me to handle, but I think I'm gonna be able to recruit some friends to help me along when it comes time to clean it all up and get it into the jars. Now we got Kazoo's plant. This is the what the fuck do they call it? Papaya sassafras or something like that. It's a papaya crossed to sassafras, which is a CBD strain. I don't know the exact ratios or whatnot, but it's finishing nicely, taking all its extra nutrients out. And then I saved the best for last. This one's coming along the nicest. This is from Thunder Dan, the Banana Daddy Black Widow. This is my coffee partner. This lady here has got a special place. She gets to hang out up here, and we get to just chill and have breakfast with her some days. I really like this positioning of where I grow this plant. Whatever plant goes in here usually gets the fucking special treatment because I get to hang out with it, right? But just the structure on this plant is just, you know, look at that thing. Just a thing of beauty.
That thing opened up real nice, man. Just fucking like it's made for outdoors right there.
Yeah. The funny part about this plant, it was a solo cup that was just kicking around on the deck. This wasn't even supposed to be a plant. That was just a corner of my veggie garden that I put a little solo cup guy into, little solo cup girl into. And like that, I had a potato patch right there that I just dug all my potatoes out of. It's in with the squash, but it turned out to be just a thing of beauty. And the buds, they're solid too. Really, really, really tight bud structure on it. Super sweet smell to it. Getting some fading already, which is kind of neat. Like some of the leaves are already getting a little shade of purple. I don't know exactly why that's happening, but the rest of the plant
temperatures are dropping. It's wanting to smack you in the head and say, "God damn, it's cold out here."
yeah.
They're saying, "Give me a blanket."
But this is the view in September at G-Base place, and this is what I do it for, man. This is the time of year where it rips.
Like that. Cheers, noob.
This is as an outdoor cannabis farmer, this is where it's at, man. This is where all the joy comes together, all your hard work comes together. You get to enjoy all these beautiful flowers, different strains. Out here I'm creating so many different trike heads that have so many different compounds inside them. I know nothing about them, but I know they're there and I know they're different. So, as an amateur like me, this is my happy spot, man. And I love being able to share it with all you guys too, because it's not really fun standing here by myself all the time.
I mean, it is, but it's always fun to have somebody to fucking share it with.
Yeah, bounce ideas back and forth and whatnot.
Right.
Trim off some leaves and just get
it done. Dags is throwing out an idea here, G-Bay. It sounds like you're going to need a trim party for trimming and then another party to help you smoke it. So how about we do Booth Camp North Part 2 in about a month and a half or so here.
Sounds good.
And then we'll throw another one in the spring once it's all had a chance to cure up. And,
I'm down. G-Base taste test party.
Hell yes. I like it. See, Dags, this is teamwork going together here, brother.
Oh, there's the major. I see him. Was he here? Was he blessed enough the other day to see my fucking autoflowers that I have on the go?
I don't know the whole time that you've been in there, there's been live chats been going off on ruderalis and how it can give you rashes. It was that J5. It makes fart a lot. I think it might have been. Are
your hives cleared? They're fucking major. Your auto hives.
Basically, I think what they're saying is if you ever want to catch a good case of syphilis, grow some ruderalis. I think that's the gist of what they're saying.
Bro, I'm down for the fucking Flowbee fucking weed trimmer, man.
What is Flowbee?
Oh, Flowbee was that cool thing in like the fucking 80s that, your parents, they'd sit you down to give you the haircut. They'd hook up the fucking vacuum to it. And so it'd like suck up the hair and give you some fucking fucked up haircut at the same time.
I mean, like the suck cut from Wayne's World?
Yes, it's the suck cut from Wayne's World, except it was originally called the Flowbee.
Okay. I was thinking like when you're like, it almost sounds like you got like those burpee the seed company fucking propagation tray company, right? The burpees. So I was wondering if it was something kind of similar to that or whatever. I was not. Yeah, I was way off. More than abolished.
Right. And then the only other thing I can think that's similar to that is like the Finger Remover 5000, that like fucking mini hedge trimmer that is such a bad idea. They send you with the fucking chainmail glove with it. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what that one's called, but every time I see that one pop up on my Instagram, that person who's fucking advertising it just gets unfollowed.
What, the two scissors that come together real fast?
It's literally like a fucking mini hedge trimmer, like this fucking big. It's got a fucking blade that swings over the top like like a hedge trimmer does. And you're right, it's made to be put up and down your butt. Like, fucking such a horrible idea.
I hit my fingers with some Fiskars the other day, going at the plant. It was like, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Me, like,
I look down, I'm like, oh, thank God for nasty old.
I get the whole concept behind like shit like bull trimmers and stuff like that, right? Speed up the process. Let's get to like G-Bay. Every year we hang out with you for 2-3 weeks while you fucking trim jail yourself with all the hell and back. And I get it, speed up the process and stuff like that. But when it comes down to actual quality, fingers and scissors, man, it just seems to be that is the way of it.
Yeah. If you get me to harvest your weed, I'll bull trim it. If I'm harvesting my weed, I'm hand trimming. It's just the connection I have with these girls is I can't at the end of the season just be like, into the bowl. Fuck it.
I feel like I could. I feel like I could.
Some people do.
The good way to start that is you take the top buds, and then all those little larfy ones you're always like fucking bitching about anyway. You just put those in their own little pile, and no matter what, you run those through the fucking bull trimmer. You just
see that's
bull trimmer, and that's all there is to it.
Bang on. That's pretty much exactly what I was gonna say. Go through and take out all all the big fat top coals that we actually enjoy trimming for the first little bit. Get all those out of the way so that you get your top shelf weed there, and then all the larf and anything that's even questionable, run that through the trimmer, and if it comes out, it comes out. If not, well,
but I find this perspective up so interesting. Where are we at here? Fucking man, I don't find it to be any more fucking it up by running it through one of those than the way some people overhandle it while trimming, and or the way they just package it and fucked up. Like of all of the things, like that's one of the least things I'm worried about. Like, it's not that bad. I've had one for years. I can't keep the fucking trimmer going all day like I used to. I got big rooms going, so I use the fucking bull trimmer from here. Well, I used to. The wife started taking over a lot of that and doing a good job, but basically that's what it was. Anything that was too small, or if it just wasn't that impressive top, it just automatically got fucking. I don't have time to sit there and fucking detail out small buds, So,
yeah, I think Dags has a pretty mirrors my thoughts on that. If you're in some of your trichomes, just smoke a little more. Now, I'd also like to point out that I do not harvest enough mass to justify my use of a bull trimmer. I'm talking about purely hypothetical circumstances. If I was dealing with G-Bay's amount of like plant biology that he's dealing with right there, I'm not a patient person, so I could see myself getting sick and fucking tired of it long before G-Bay drops the scissors on his pile there. So it's kind of just knowing the way I am, and I love fucking dry sift hash. So if we're knocking a few extra crystals off, but you're still able to collect them and throw them into the keef jar, I wouldn't be overly overly bothered by that. Good morning, Artman. Sheldon, great to see you.
Like me, after doing it for so many years, it takes a long time, but now I've got a system down where I buck the branches into trim bin size pieces. They get stacked at the one side of the trim bin. As I trim, the corner gets filled with clean buds, and the shit lands on the screen, and it gets to a certain point. I pick the buds up, scrub all the fucking shit, dump it, go again. And that fucking dry sift, I'm telling you, just literally goes in the bottom of these trim bins, man. And talking to I wouldn't say professional, but a guy who can make some hash in Quebec here that he makes the big bricks of the good old school shit. And he just said straight up, it's just fucking dry sift, compressed dry sift.
No.
I'm like, fuck. Well,
I just been keeping it a way that I enjoyed it. Just get the heads out, press them into a nice block, and off you go. But I've always been, I guess, the fan of the most minimally processed as possible, right? It's either flour or it's dry sift pressed. just the shit that falls off.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because I tried to make bubble hash. I got the bubble machines, I got all that, and then I just don't really enjoy the final product. It's great, but it's not my great. My great is what I grew up with, just the fucking old blocks of hash, man, that have that certain scent to them. That's what I'm after, and I wasn't getting that from the bubble. So my bubble avenue is going to go towards my friend with his new freeze dryer. He's already reached out. He's looking for large outdoor harvests. All my bottoms. See ya. So I've already got a plan for that, which is awesome. But
yeah,
I can't wait. This is the first time I'm ever going to have access to a freeze dryer, guys.
It's exciting.
Fucking right it is. Because like I was literally giving up on the fucking extract side of things because I'm like, I can do my blasting, which I don't really do. So I'm like, fuck. And then the bubble hash, I said, wasn't my favorite. I was able to collect a whole shit ton. Like I'm able to make piles of it, but it's not my thing. But now that I can do the bubble, put it through the freeze dryer, now it'll be my thing. Because if I can squeeze it out at a hash rosin level, then I'm interested. I was losing interest at the levels I was playing at.
Yeah. It's interesting. So are you going to have to be the one to run are you going to start learning to do the freeze dryer part of it? You're going to have that person kind of here.
I'm not sure, but I'm close enough friends with him that I'm probably able to
start learning.
Like, yeah, I won't be, he wouldn't just be like, just drop your shit off and go kind of thing. He'd probably want to get me in there to see some stuff. So I have no idea yet, but I'm going to try to maybe get to the point where I can just give it to somebody and you take parts or the return. Because I got enough back here to make enough for myself by able to share it to get the process done, right? So
I like that. That's it right there. And G-Bay, you know that one too, man. You got all kinds of old fucking hats playing around.
That's the thing. It's great medicine. It's not my recreation because it just literally. So I can't really go out and have fun with that stuff. I'll just end up sitting in a lawn chair counting fucking grass blades and shit. So it's like, it's not my thing, but I love making it. I just think if I could get it to rosin, then I'd be like, yeah, I want to see a baby jar of rosin with some terps at the top. That I made.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do it or the equipment or anything, but I'm on an adventure to find it. You know, I wanted to make, a jar of rosin. I got to a point where I ran that garlic. I ran 250 some odd grams of it. I got 55 grams of rosin back, filled a baby jar. That was awesome. Conquered that. Now it's like, okay, that was good, but it's such low quality. So now let's get to I want to get to the top where it looks like butter. But who knows?
It's good to have goals and priorities, G-Bay.
Oh, super. What about these Hawaiians? These 3 Hawaiians don't finish. I'm looking at October 31st, November 10th, some of that range, and I'm still got clears. Wrap it up, freeze dryer that shit. Let's process all 3 plants, man, and see what happens.
Just do the whole.
That's what's in my head. I'm like, if they don't finish, I'm just zapping them through the bubble and the freeze dryer. See what happens. Yeah, see, Frugal's got this idea. I've been thinking this too. Because doing it, like my situation now, my trim partner is gone. I don't have my trim partner. So it's like, I can't do all this fucking shit.
G-Bay, you got your parents. Just be like
70-year-olds.
Kick them down the fucking stairs and slam the fucking door shut. Be like,
don't come up till it's trimmed.
Exactly. Just like when you were a kid.
When the weeds trimmed.
I'll just all open the door. It'll be smoky and fucking mom and pop will be playing and they'll be probably humping. My parents are hippies. You can't put them in a fucking basement full of weed and shit. It'll be like patchouli and fucking dancing and shit.
It'll just be patchouli and sex. It'll be gross.
Yeah, man. Like, ew. Fuck no thanks. I grew up with these fuckers. That's all they did. Smoke weed and they smell like patchouli and shit. How do you think I ended up like this? This is as far into the sophisticated world I can get with a haircut. You see what happened. I relapsed a couple years ago and went fucking Paul Bunyan on us.
And we all appreciated that, G-Bay. We
don't want that back, eh?
I mean, I'm pretty certain if we started a poll, it's going to be fucking the winner.
No, I'm into like meeting new women territory, I don't think that's going to help me at all.
Bro, really?
I've actually been instructed by friends. Like, I
don't know, man. The ones that like the grizzly guy are the ones that fucking are usually a really good time. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. Got my wood for me and shit. No thanks.
Oh fuck! All right, so
if I do recruit the parents, though, I will get a good picture of them.
Just
with the nitrile gloves and everything, you know.
Anybody says shit, I'm prepped today. We have the giveaway ready. So
oh shit.
So as soon as we're ready, fucking for you to get it up, then today we are going to be giving away the Melon Baller by Endgame. That is Melon Baller by Endgame, and then I'm going to be throwing in the Black Forest F2 to go along with it. So that's what today's giveaway will be. So
Beans is your magical word. I see Staggering's already got it in there. I don't know how you managed to guess I would go with that over all of the words I could be using. But we'll get those given away up here shortly. We'll give it a few minutes, let everyone get their names entered in. So beans, the magical fruit, the magical word. Let's get her done.
Yeah, man.
So I see here Artman saying last 2 times he hired trimmers, they backed out. That is the number one complaint. You'll get 10 people. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, come over and trim. Comes time to trim, it's you in your basement with your scissors.
Because trimming fucking sucks. It's like moving. Nobody wants to do it.
And they don't want to do it for
peace. Make it worth the while, and you might get decent help.
Yeah. See, I just give giant handfuls of products.
Which is a pretty good deal. I'm not going to lie. If you were going to convince me to come over and visit you for a day or two and just sit there and trim G-Bay, that'd probably be the way to do it. Because I'm honestly not even overly motivated by money. If you're to be like, Caribou, come on over, here's just $100 or something stupid like that, I'd be like, nah, dude, just have me a sack of weed and we'll sit there and chill.
I can go cut a tree down for that shit.
Yeah.
See, here's what I always end up finding out is that if I just sit there and trim weed with my buddies, I turn into the slowest trimmer you have ever seen. Like, it's just, you might as well just fucking hand pick off each fucking one and just kind of chuck it to the side, give it a little inspection. It's bad.
One for me, one for the bag.
Yeah,
so man, I'll be one of those guys where he's like, if I do this job badly enough, they will never ask me to do it again.
No, just for me, it's just distracted. Just get distracted. We start having a fucking good time, start talking shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's the ADD is strong with this one. It is like it takes fuck all to distract me from whatever's going on in the real world in front of me.
Well, the thing is, too, what I hate is when people are like, throw on a movie. I'm like, why? So you can stare at the fucking screen and not the weed you're trimming? Like,
right?
No, podcasts and shit, because I'm worse for it. I'll get a TV show going, I'll look up, and then my hands aren't moving.
Yeah, you got a fucking bud in one hand, a fucking scissor in the other, and neither of them are touching.
Yeah, it's funny because the 1 year I did it the best way I did it, man. I had a tarp. I put a tarp down and just a circle of chairs, and I kind of ran it like fucking slave camp. Like, if you're gonna sit in a chair, you got to be trimming. If you don't feel like trimming, I don't care, but get out of the chair. You know what I mean? Go sit over there.
Don't sit there and ruin everybody else's fucking motivation.
Yeah, man. And we rocked it. It was fucking moving fast, man, and it was great. And took only a couple days to get a couple pounds down.
I think that's always the problem I have when I taught my wife when she was taking over for me through my hand surgeries and stuff. Was I taught her how I do it. And I sit there, I shut up, I do my trim, I do it real tight, and then I don't. There's no talking and fucking around because exactly that. If I start letting my mind go, I just squirrel and it never gets done. So for me, it's head down. It's just get after it. So I think she's always every time we get to trimming and shit, she looks at me and she's like, "God damn, slave driver," and I'm like, "I know, I'm sorry." Like,
yeah, don't worry, I'll keep coffee coming and snacks and shit. Like,
oh, I won't. I'll fucking go to get coffee and then I'll squirrel out doing 7 other things. So that doesn't even make me like the good project manager, right? Because I'm like, yeah, man, totally got you guys, and then I just find some other shit to do.
Everyone's like, where the fuck did Fluff go? Oh, he's in bed having a nap. Like, what?
Oh, no. They know he ain't fucking napping, but he's squirreled off somewhere fucking doing something else. Probably
he's
decided
napping.
to fucking, go decide to fucking transplant the garden while or mow the lawn while you were I figured, it probably took me about 10 minutes to go finish the lawn instead of getting coffee, right? I can do them both at the same time. I'll be right back.
That's almost sounds like filling up the water reservoir and knowing, okay, it's going to take about 10 minutes for me to fill. I could totally, put coffee on. Does sound about the right fucking thing. Okay, I'm going to run, put coffee on, and you completely forgot that you have a filling water reservoir. Walk back out to the shed, or maybe it's in your basement, and you're just like, fuck.
I was, just the other day, I was doing the same thing, man. I was boiling some water to do some stuff I was doing, and sure as shit, I the wife looked at me. She goes, you got water boiling on. So I was like, yeah. It's got to like get to a boil. I'm gonna be right there. 10 minutes later, she's like, you still got water boiling. Like, it's really boiling now. Like, you can do something with that. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, just like a reservoir. Hell, that's why I've got fucking float valves on everything now.
I was making my son a hot dog last night and forgot about it. Burnt it to shit. Filled my house with smoke. Oh, yeah. 3 times.
Yep.
Petrified hot dog via heat doesn't smell very nice.
No,
they
don't. Let's I want to do a quick dab for all our Patreon supporters. It's been a while since we've shouted them out, so let's get this one done. Thank you, everybody. We love you all. Paying the bills. All right, now let's do dab for everyone else.
Double it up.
Well, we don't want to play favorites around here. We love it, bud.
That's it. Ooh.
Hell yes.
I'll put this on the chart over right back.
I might have to go find some weed here pretty quick. So I was spending a good portion of the night on the couch last night, and freaking there's no weed down here. My daughter had a sleepover, and like but 1 in the morning, I wake up to fucking crash, bang. What the fuck is going on? Go in there, and they're playing like with beads or something like that on the bed. Now you got containers full of beads all over the fucking floor and shit like that. And I'm just like, I guess I'm not going to bed anytime soon. So if I can come hang out on the couch and watch some YouTube for a good few hours and all that. This is like kind of my pet peeve when it comes to parenting and stuff like that. Like kids, they like messy toys and stuff like that. They play with like slime and all like friggin' not different versions of Play-Doh where it sticks and gets into shit. Way worse. I think my daughter's version of all that is beads. She likes making necklaces and stuff. I got this one that I've been wearing constantly for over a year at this point. Doesn't come off. But so she's got all these big bags and containers full of beads. Problem is, she likes to play with them on, like, say, a bed. And you're sitting on your bed and you're making necklaces and stuff like that. And all of a sudden your container upends and you've got hundreds, if not thousands of beads across the freaking floor. It's like walking across giant sugar. It's like all across your feet, shit fucking sticking to your feet, and you're just like, what the fuck in this? So I handed them a broom at like 1 in the morning and be like, get this, sweep that one. Not telling them shit, but get this swept up, go to bed. It's
Let's give a shout out to some slaps I picked up over last week.
Very cool.
We got the Blue Kiss one with the big old blue tongue on the chow. Heck yeah.
G-Bay had us down at Paradise City at the beginning of the show when he was showing us his Jumanji fucking jungle there. Like paradise to me.
Oh, yeah.
But see, Art Man, Legos you can spot from a mile away. Like, it's hard to step on Lego. unless you're doing it intentionally, I find, because they're big and they stick up. Whereas beads are fucking little and they get in everywhere. They don't hurt as much as Lego though. That's for sure. Lego's got those wicked sharp corners, which, you know, if you do actually end up stepping on one, to fuck some shit up. But
I feel like beads were a bigger thing in like the 80s. Like, I feel like every household had mass amounts of fucking beads and they did tons of shit with beads. And then the shapes and the weirdness of the beads were way more akin to fucking Legos. So that when those old school ones with all the weird shapes and shit, it was more like a little minefield.
Yeah, like I had a Lego box that was from, well, my dad was born in the 50s and his brothers shortly after. So between 55 and 65, all the brothers were born. So the Lego was acquired somewhere in that range, I guess. It was like a cardboard box with the whites were like tan because they were so old, you know. They had like almost like a Bakelite feel to them, these Legos, old school. And yeah, the random shapes and shit, you'd step on some of that. It's just like, fuck. Ugh. You could drop that on the floor, man. No one could get near you.
Like say the art man's comment here. Apparently his missus is a jewelry maker, but like, does she at least have a set place to do it, like at a desk or a table? Because my kid likes, like I said, my kid likes to do it on her bed, and it's just on the bed is not a good place for multiple containers full of beads and stuff like that. They're just like,
you hear like when you hear one spill, like a tray of beads spill, that's an unmistakable sound. Like a rain stick. Just
yeah.
It's just like the sound of your fucking res overflowing. Oh.
That too. You're like at first, because the first couple trickles, you're like,
yeah, it's not raining out. Why do I hear fucking rain? Oh fuck!
It's like when your kids are playing and you hear the toy box dump. That's that sound too. It's just
oh yes.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Ooh, that's. Jax was around for like my early childhood days. I do remember those. I don't recall ever stepping on them, but I do remember what they looked like. And yep, that would hurt like a motherfucker.
They look like the big things to use tanks, like to stop tanks in army, like just a big chunk of metal. Like they're just miniature versions.
Yeah, right. It is a miniature fucking landmine, basically.
Anti-riot movement, like that.
Doesn't it almost look more like the fucking sea mines though? You know, like the fucking depth charges or whatever they fucking call them.
They just look like ouch. A lot of ouch if it ends up under your foot.
Right. All right. So here we go. We're going to go through this again. All right. We have the Melon Baller by the Endgame Ethos. And then the Black Forest F2 from Moa coming at you. So if you would like these, type in beans. Type in beans. When are we going to give these out? Say at a quarter till?
Sure. We got 22 entries in there right now, so everybody get your names up in there.
All the peoples out there, we need more entries.
And also, smash that like button. We got damn near 60 people in there. Hit like, hit subscribe. If you haven't already, share us with friends. Spread the word of the amazing awesomeness that is the Noob Grow sponsored giveaway. Good morning, Victoria Lee.
I mean, I feel like we need to have you on for a segment just to talk about that. Can't fucking drop something like that and say we ain't gonna talk about
that. Oh, Barbie's high heel, eh? You.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit intrigued about what's going on there.
Well, you know. I don't really care to see no.
Good morning, CMJ, Fragrant Lilac, Heart and Soul.
Morning, Fragrant, Victoria, Galaxy, 5G, got my nut.
Profit.
What? Is there a profit in there?
No, we were talking last time. We all figured 5G was Profit with a different name.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't actually think it is, but
it just sounds so great. It's such a good name.
It sounds like something that he would say, though. It does sound like it.
Right.
And now we got the 5G's got my nut. He's like, why the fuck do you assholes keep calling me Profit? You just sound like something Profit would do.
Right. The whole thing's a big fucking suspicious circle.
Mm-hmm. Well, quick question for me, I don't know, maybe you fluff. I don't know if you know anything about a caribou or if you even do fluff. Overwintering my strawberries. Now I know in the ground you just leave them, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 nice big healthy plants. You know, runners coming off them that I can make more plants and everything.
Put it in the
I don't want to lose them.
Put it in the ground. It will. I could be wrong, but I don't think you have a hope in hell of that surviving the winter in a pot.
No, I don't mean leaving them outside. I guess if I bring them inside.
If you want to bring spider mites into the house, then yes, by all means.
Yeah, that's like a guaranteed fucking you're gonna bring some shit into your house. You bring
strawberry plants are spider mite factories. I have never seen a strawberry plant that doesn't have spider mites on it.
Fair enough.
That's a pretty fair point. They are like spider mite factories, man.
See, but the thing is, once I put them in the ground, they're in the ground, right? So it's like,
well, yeah, they're in the ground until you grab that first runner and get it out of the ground.
Yeah.
Cool. Simple as that, man. Basically, as soon as they start popping runners next year, fucking throw them in your pots and off you go. You know,
I guess I'll put all 6 of them right where I just yanked all my potatoes from. It's already fucking stirred up and ready to rock. Kind of protected back there.
Yeah. The only thing I'd even be questioning about is the fact that it doesn't need to be done any sooner. Just so they have time to get in there and get established before the cold actually fucking smokes them. But well, he didn't get to bring that fucking badass prize back home to Canada with him.
No, just a few American dollar bills. Gave some to the kids, the souvenirs. Just the memories from that trip's going to be enough for this guy. I can't wait to do that shit again. And Boof Northers, we need to tighten our boot laces a little bit. So just know next time I'm going to have a fucking garbage pail full of weed, and we're diving in. It was a little. They know how to represent us. I'll tell you that much. Hey, that old boy there that showed up from next door. I'm just going to be chopping some trees here. Didn't want to disturb you. Holy fuck. What do you guys got going on here?
Now, I don't know if Major's serious, but it sounds like that would actually be viable. Like if you kept them packed with snow enough, you'd keep them insulated against the wall. So, yeah, it might be something to look into right there for you, G-Bay.
Yeah, because I don't really want to take them out of their pots.
Uh-oh, we're 2 minutes late. Oh. All right. I'm going to go through the fucking spiel one more time, goddammit. All right, here we got some Ethos. It is the Melon Baller by Endgame from Ethos, and it will be a 10-pack of the Black Forest F2 of my creations. So, here we are. Type in beans. Who we got? I swear to God, if Big Word wins it again, I'm fucking elbow dropping him.
Small tubes. Cheers, brother. We haven't seen you around in a hot minute either. Fucking great to see you back kicking it around. Good morning, Shenny. Good morning, Todd Wilson. Kingfisher, I don't think I've said hi to you.
Hit me up, give me some fucking infos, and I will get these out to you.
Good morning, Sniff. How you doing today?
Morning, Sniff.
Morning, brother.
I'll go refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Yes.
So, G-Bay, right now, currently, who's stanking up your garden in the fucking worst right now?
Bam Lambs.
Is it Bams?
Yeah. It's toned down, or I've become nose blind. I'm not sure. But it's when you get on them and rub them around and stuff, the Banana Daddy's got the most appealing to me. It's just a nice overall sweet smell. I'm not really getting like one individual fruit or anything like that per se. But these girls here are starting to stink. They got like I don't know, just dank weed.
Yeah, they're that's the more funkier kind of, just a little gassy, kind of chemi. Maybe a hint on a fresher citrus type side.
It's hard to say, but fuck, it's good. I don't know, man. Just, you know, that morning when it's wet and kind of the air is kind of laying low.
Right.
Got a really, really nice, fragrant cannabis smell. I can't really describe it. But
Yeah, it's
I am
always
starting to get a bit of PM on some of these lower lying branches. I don't know if you can pick it up.
Let's get you. Hold on here.
There's some of it up in. I can't really hold the computer, but right up in here, you see.
Okay.
This leaf here is covered.
Good to know.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get a bit. So, you know what I'll do is I'll just chop those fucking branches off because I got that up there to deal with. I'm not going to worry about the very low lying bottom spot. This is why we do all the trimming, guys, because if it's showing up on this leaf here when it's this open, if you don't trim all this shit out, it would just be fucking, it would be game over. I've seen some outdoor grows already this year that I've been brought to and shown where people don't do any defoliation and such. They're fucking disgusting. I won't be smoking any of that weed. Big bird. But yeah, it's showing up most. I haven't really done a thorough search through it, the whole garden, but tis the season, folks. So if you got outdoor grows, you know, get out there with some preventative or get out there and do some trimming. That shit's gonna show up like this area right here. Probably gonna get lots because
yeah, just not a lot of airflow through that section of the garden.
Well, yeah, and then you get spots, like I was saying, back there that are shaded and don't get much sun or don't dry out very quickly. You'll probably get issues back there. Might as well just hack it out if you can, right? So
yeah,
what I'll do to mitigate that stuff is I'll just come up another foot from underneath, just a couple other branches. I'll lose a couple ounces in the end, but it is what it is.
Right. It's always the difference between talking to, a guy with a 4x4 and a guy with a 40x40, is that a couple ounces ain't going to mean shit to you. You trim off a pound off a plant and be like, well, I got plenty.
On average, about 170 mason jars I pull for an outdoor season. I got 200 one year and like 160 something another. Those are the numbers I remember. So somewhere in between those ranges is where I end up with the mason jars. That's 2 a week, man. Easy. So I love doing it. It's not that I'm doing it for any specific person or reason other than to just not have to work.
Right. So when it comes down to like your PM to for prevention, besides just trimming and anything, is there anything that you actually do? Are you doing any kind of foliar with like a lab foliar? Do you ever try the milk thing? I know you hit them a little bit with Lost Coast, but it's not or are you on a regular schedule with that?
I was up until the flowers got, about a week or two ago. Now okay. I don't really like to spray and flower at all.
Right.
Even though people say you can use certain things when it's got an essential oil or a plant.
Those people are lying. Those people are straight up fucking lying. Anybody that tells you can spray all the way till the end of flower is full of shit.
Yeah, maybe it's not harmful, but it's going to taste like I'm going to be smoking a concentrated version of your whatever it is I'm applying, right? So
I would say that there's no chance of it not being harmful, honestly. Like, because think about, like, cause you mentioned using essential oils, right? When you first started off there, you take any kind of oil, essential, motor, fucking cooking or whatever, you spray it on a piece of paper, even if it's been diluted with water. You get those oil stains on there. They don't ever go away. Why would that be any different with your plant material that you're smoking? I'm with you, G-Man. Fucking once you get like maybe more than a week or two into flower, fucking fuck that. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, so my scissors are my best defense now. I'll just come in and trim some of that out.
Yep.
In all honesty, like this plant, if you look at it, it's going to have 2 different styles of bud on it. It's going to have these straight up spears, which is going to be nice. And then all these branches at the bottom that are kind of drooping and whatever, they're going to get fuck all for light. They're going to have little popcorn buds on them. And, I don't know. Just buy.
That's it, man. It's better off just to fucking get rid of it.
Yeah. Big time.
Now, in the earlier parts of your growing and stuff, do you, besides the Lost Coast, so what else were you using for prevention for any of this stuff?
Sulfur I use. I do a heavy load of sulfur right before flower because I don't really use it during the whole. I could do multiple applications, I guess, during the season, but I don't. I wait right until flower and I kind of give it a load of it so that I know that it's there. I find the sulfur is one of those things when you go into flower, it just helps so much with the robustness of a flower. You know, you want those flavors, and I figure sulfur is kind of a stinky thing to feed the plant. It's got to transfer in there somehow, right? But you don't want any, anywhere near your flowers, right? So I usually load it up first, and it helps big time with bugs and shit like that. Nothing like sulfur except the plant.
Okay, so how do you apply sulfur to all your dude? You living in the middle of Jumanji right now. How the fuck do you sulfur all that shit?
Just have a couple an hour or so in a sprayer and 3 or 4 fucking fills. And then the shitty thing is it just fucks your sprayer too. Just fucks it. So it's like,
yeah, you got to have a dedicated fucking sulfur sprayer, or you got to really use some quality fucking sulfur.
I made the mistake of, I think it would have been maybe Lost Coast first, and then I don't know if I didn't rinse it or what the deal was, but some of the oil had thickened up, like the waters had evaporated, and inside my sprayer there was some leftover whatever. I didn't clean it out properly. It looked clean to me. It was not. So once this sulfur got inside the apparatuses of the pumps and everything, it was mixing with that sticky oil and shit. It just became a goopy mess. I had to throw it out. So be real careful with it because it's still like, I guess in powder form, it's like, is sulfur like a rock or like what? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, sulfur is like it's a hard mineral.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't dilute as more as it just gets spread out through the water. Right?
If you, it sort of. I mean, if you get yourself a good micronized sulfur, honestly, I've got one. I think it's called like Safe Sulfur, is what it's called. And the biggest thing for me is I notice when I mix it up, I'll get like the biggest kind of like glass beaker thing that I have, and I throw it on my heated stir plate, and I let that fucker really mix. You have got to mix the shit out of it. So I make a really concentrated water out of it, and then I mix it with like the rest of my water in the sprayer, to finish out the concentration. And I've had better luck with that. But basically, right after you're done spraying, if you don't fucking run pure water through there like 2 or 3 times, you just build up sulfur fucking powder on the inside of that thing, and it'll fucking eat through everything, and off she goes. That's the biggest.
When I started playing with sulfur there with my clones, when I just kind of wiped everything out, start fresh again, found that you do get some sulfur dust on there when you dip them and shit like that. And I think actually, Fluff, you might have warned me to rinse that shit off before I hit it with the Lost Coast, the oil and the dusty kind of mixture going on. And since then, I try to follow. So I'll go through with like a sulfur. I haven't sprayed sulfur, but like if anything that's leaving a residue, like the cast iron soap recipe that you gave me, that'll leave a residue on your leaves as well. So I'll come through with just like Blue Dawn dish soap and spray that. I might put an oil in there, usually not though. Just get that soap sudsy and kind of use that to rinse off the leaves and get rid of any excess sulfur buildup and stuff like that. And then apply the Lost Coast. But then the Lost Coast will leave you that fucking oily residue all over your leaves too, that fucking Clay likes fucking talking about and making fun of us for. And once again, I find like hit it with a fucking another Dawn dish soap mixture or something like that, help kind of get that shit out and off the leaves.
I mean, I find that just regularly giving it a little bit of fucking water foliar does so much beneficial work that, you can get away from a lot of things with just, the regular care of a light spray. But the biggest thing with your sprayers when you're doing that stuff is the maintenance to keep them clean, because you are throwing particles and shit through them. And a lot of the stuff I use is made. Oh, fucking sweet. So like the maintenance on them is the biggest aspect of keeping your sprayer running properly. And everybody, like I've done it years and years. I've just, fuck that sprayer. Well, no, I mean, you can't just leave the shit in there. So that's always been Yeah, but rinsing off afterwards. Yeah, just fucking a lot of water. I end up just a lot of spraying ends up happening. And I find that to be super helpful.
Yeah, don't leave them. I usually was good and put like boiling water through them usually and like clean. I didn't the one time, and then when I went to use it again, man, just went downhill so fast. I was like, this is what they talk about.
Cheers, Eric Martinez. I like your the way you got that stuff lined up right there, and also welcome. I don't believe I've seen you in our live chat before.
Yeah, cheers, brother.
It was great to see new faces.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Nice. Fucking biofilm in a sprayer is a nightmare. So that is the one thing that I just I am absolutely inferred. I think since the first time I've ever left something of my creation in a sprayer, and well, it damn near made the sprayer explode too. There was so much fucking pressure inside of it. Because it was doing shit inside of it.
Shit starting to decay and then build up in there.
Yeah, it was creating some gases and shit. Like I accidentally grabbed it. I know for a fact I always make sure everything's got no pressure on it. I grabbed that bitch by the handle, like I normally would, just grab it. Fucking thing squirted out like it was under like 500 psi, like it was a power washer. I was like, holy shit. But then I went to clean that thing out, man. There was no cleaning out those lines. I mean, I would have had to fucking like literally get like an acid or enzyme cleaner in there to eat that shit to do the work. So
I'm bad for one of the things I've started to do is putting like a soap nut in my sprayer, so that you shake it up and you'll get a bit of the saponin into the spray as you're going there too. And then I'll put that bottle down and then forget about it for like a week or two. And then that's the biofilms and shit like that we were just talking about, where you'll go to spray it and you can see there's something caught up in there and it's getting that weird funky spray pattern where it's only blowing out the one side or something like that. So, oh, fuck, I gotta take this thing apart, clean it out again, get the peroxide,
Yeah. I was looking in here and reading because you were liking Eric Martinez's comment, and I'm kind of on the same side with J5 is bugs. But it's weird for me because I'm kind of dancing in between two different places, right? I've got my big room that runs as a very big, consistent like garden bed, right? So I have to try to find that balance there. So with that bed and everything in there, there's a lot of biological control, right? To control the pests, I use the pests. And if there's any kind of knockdown that needs to happen, it gets a minimal spray. But basically, kind of like J5 says, I feel like I'm killing more of my rove beetles, my lace wings, my stratiolapsus and things when I spray. But on the flip side of that, in like the 5x5 tent where everything's in a 5-gallon pot, it's only going to be running for a small cycle anyway. So a lot of the times they're getting full-on treatments, like say with biological sulfur and usually, Alaska as one of the essential oil type things. And then a lot of just foliar spraying to wash down and also actually a lot of hydrogen peroxide. Big fan of using that around the garden to help keep things kind of cleaned up and sanitized, keep some of that shit away. So for like your fungals, a lot of your bugs and things, especially down inside your root zone, when you give them a decent hydrogen peroxide, foliar and or root drench, that does a lot of good work to kill a lot of shit. And when it breaks down, you just put oxygen in your soil or, on your, as long as you're getting a quality, you're not using some kind of crazy fucked up, I know there's grades of hydrogen peroxide that can possibly leave, chemicals besides or behind. So typically trying to use a quality tested, agricultural grade. So
I big fan of peroxide in the turbo cloner too. I'm one of those people where I get bad for setting it up and just letting it run, right? So say you got an average of about 2 weeks for your clones to root, just to throw a word out there and time out there. And in about 10 days, say I start getting roots. But then a few days after that, it's like, oh, time to cut more clones off this next plant that I'm about to flip into bloom. And so oftentimes, if I've still got room in the cloner, I'll just cut those clones and pop them straight into the cloner without changing out the water or doing anything like that. Maybe just top it up if it needs to. Well, you got all this bacterial growth in there, right? And like there's just one of the days the last week, as I was like 15 minutes before I'm out the door to work, I go and look in the where my cloner is, and it doesn't sound right. It's not spraying properly. It's okay, what's that? And see if I open up and you're looking at the manifold and you can see a couple of the emitters are plugged and you're like, oh shit, well, I got to be out the door here soon. So I immediately pull all the emitters out of the manifold and dump all the, and you can see there's little slime chunks in there for where you're getting a bit of bacterial slime and all that stuff in there. Now, had I been smarter and actually changed the water out and done a proper water change on it, or add a little bit of peroxide in there a little bit more frequently than I had been, and it can help take care of all that bacterial shit and slime and all that grossness. And but yeah, I ended up just kind of putting the cloner back together without the emitters on there, letting it run with new water and peroxide and stuff in there to clear out the manifold and get anything else out of there. For the easy cloner between runs there, Eric, I'll run it with bleach and let it run with bleach for a good couple hours. I'll flip the neoprene pucks and stuff like that so they can get good and soaked with the bleach and all that, and kind of right. And after I've bleached it, I'll run it again with just water to rinse the bleach out of there, get rid of any residues and stuff that might be there, and then I'll put away dry and it's ready to go for the next time you need it.
I always ended up when I cleaned mine, it was the first initial thing that happens is you go in, you get all the, because I usually have a biofilm or something in there because I don't run mine like a sterile. I'll put some labs down in there, some humic acid, things like that. So, excuse me. So first things first, I wipe it down, right? Because there's usually an area in there. But then after that, I kind of do the same as I'll put all the plugs back in like it's going to get run. And then I'll turn it on with hydrogen peroxide in it first, let that run through the thing, hit the clone plugs, spray down the inside of it. Then I'll dump that, give it a good clean out, and then do the same thing again with the bleach. And then after that, then all the plugs get fucking soaked in bleach and scrubbed down. And I'm trying to get away from using Aero Cloner, but that's kind of what I do when I do it, because I really do feel like more people have issues with the plugs, or your collars, from trying to keep them around, run them too many times. And even when you try to soak them, like I don't think you get to the middle of them. Like, the bacteria and shit's moving through them without a problem, but the water has a hard time. That's the point, right? So, it's just one of those where it's like an expense I try to get away from because I know I need to replace those plugs a lot.
I find I already use them quite a bit. I'd say about once a year I end up having to replace them. Like there's a couple of years ago we went on like Amazon or something at the X and I. We bought like a big bag of the inch and a quarter, whatever the size is, the plugs for the turbo cloner are. We had those before we even had the turbo cloner back when I made mine out of a 5-gallon bucket. And it just kind of, there's no set timeline or anything like that. It's just kind of when you can see them, when they just kind of get gross and just kind of you can see the roots where the plants will have roots growing into the neoprene and it'll be growing out the other side and shit like that. And like after a while, just it's pretty cheap to get like a bag full of like over 100 of those neoprenes. I think it was like $20 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years, whatever the hell it was, right? So it's in a 48 site cloner. We're going to just swap them all out from time to time, keep everything good and tickety boo. The one difference, I try not to put any organics beyond maybe the peroxide in there because I found that I've turned my my manifold into like a sludgy fucking mud bucket holder kind of thing where I'll just plug shit right up. So I I try to avoid anything organic now, because I find, like you're talking about, the biofilms and shit like that. Just, it makes more for cleanup, in my opinion. And as opposed to like to give it a wipe down, I've got toilet brushes. I got special dollar store toilet brushes, and that's how I scrub my shit. Everything from like my 3-gallon pots to the turbo cloner to the propagation trays, everything. They've got special toilet brushes, and by special I mean I got it at the dollar store and does not get used in the toilet. These are my fucking.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. I need to get some good scrubbing equipment for just the random shit down here. You know, I've always said, like, as an organic gardener who likes to try to reuse as much as possible, right? If it's plastic, it means I should fucking be reusing it, not just throwing it out. So constantly, like, I feel like I'm a fucking dishwasher. You know, I'm just always washing something. So getting good equipment to get that done and get it cleaned properly, you know, because especially like my my clone trays and things, you know, there's a lot of little corners and ridges and valleys and things where stuff gets stuck in that you got to get her scrubbed away from sometimes. So
I was pulling clones out of my clone, my arrow cloner the other day, and it was like, oh, this one's attached. Oh, this one's attached. Oh, they're all attached together.
You just have a big root mass at this point.
I wasn't using them, so I just had to. But whatever. I did plant a couple of them actually, but I don't think I got Septoria beat. So here's the sad news. I'll just lay it down on you right now because I'm gonna cry. I have to move into my grow room. We're doing some logistical shit at this house, and I'm moving my parents in. So I'm going into the grow room. That being said, I'm not about to sleep in my 4x8 or none of that shit. So that room's getting turned around, gutted, drywalled, fucking all that shit, right? So now I'm like, oh, with this garden that I got down there already, it doesn't look healthy. I was just dealing with that Septoria stuff. I ran that run of clones, got them rooted and stuff. You know, I got the Trinity, the New York City Diesel, some really good cuts from Magpie. And I'm like, it's not worth my effort right now to like try to clean a garden while I dismantle it and downsize it while I deal with this. So I think I'm cutting all indoors for now. I got to cut all indoors down. Just take the tents, put them, break them down and see what I have for space and what I'm going to actually be doing in there. Because I'm like, God damn, there's some good cuts there. But you know what? We got all the seeds from the community. I've got a bin full of them. So
I think don't worry about cuts. I get it. I totally get it, because I just kind of went through the same thing a few months ago when I got rid of a bunch of stuff I've been holding on to for a bit. But at the end of the day, there's always more seeds. There's always more cuts. Maybe we can relocate some of those again. Maybe we can't. But you got.
I will be losing anything back here. That Mendo breath is just, it's special. But I think this is year 3 or 4. Like it's a few years now that I've been running this plant, and not that I'm bored of it, but I'm sure after this load of it I will be, right? So whatever, it's just time to move on. Like a lot of shifts are happening in the background of my life, and I can't really include the garden on the forefront of that. It's kind of got to become a secondary thing right now, and it's sad. But you know, with pulling this off back here this year, it's going to give me a big buffer zone to be able to move forward with that whole transition. And I'm not getting rid of the tents. I'm not, not speaking like that. It's just going to be put on pause for a minute here on the indoors, which is whatever. It happens, right? You can't. Sometimes
I was sitting around just kind of looking at all my stuff today, everything I've got going on, things like that, and it's like, man, it's about time to fucking downsize a little bit. You know, it's keep a little here, keep a little there, but
don't you swear like that, Fluff. G-Bay's already got a shitty attitude. We don't need you get. I just love you, G-Bay. I get it. I'm just hard timing you, brother.
It is kind of like I've been pushing through both gardens, but it's not working out for me.
No, totally understandable, G-Bay. We'll get you back in there at some point in time when you're.
I think I'm going to try to keep the 4x4 up. It's just right. It's just I gotta what the plants that are in it are just going to have to be called, and I'm going to have to go get new pots, new bag of soil, and just start brand new. Because if I try to keep on going the way I am, then I think I got Septoria in there, and I don't want to keep piggybacking that fucking disease all over the place.
No.
Cut it off at the fucking head and start over.
Coffee.
And then, well, I did get a bunch of strains that I've been running for a while, and every time you take a strain and you fill a spot in your garden and you don't replace it, you kind of you take up a space for a new varietal, you know. So I've been running a bunch kind of consistently for a year or two. It's going to be nice to completely switch over, but I think I'm going to take the Banana Daddy with me into the new transition, because just a lot of praise about it. I'm watching this thing develop right now, and it's just one of the most beautiful plants, and it's got that nice hard nug structure on it really early, sweet smell on the flower. It's like, yeah, I'll take it. It's just in the sunlight, the thing's a thing of beauty.
Right? It's always so cool to fucking see like the rays of sunlight behind one of them big bushes, just fucking loving it.
Yeah. This spot, like I say, this spot on the deck always holds kind of a close spot to my heart, because I can sit there and have coffee with it. And then there's that damn Hawaiian back there.
Yeah, I seen he's got one here, G-Bay, talking about Trichoderma bacillus subtilis will help you out with your Septoria.
What, Septoria? No, I mean it's going to help keep it at bay type thing. But if you're like doing a thing where you're talking about it's a plant in the soil, yeah, if you think you have cured it, you're kind of fooling yourself. You've subdued it a little bit, but it's hanging out back there, fucking waiting to pop up on you.
If we can spray on buds in flower, then we can cure Septoria in soil. Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's unfortunately that shit's like fucking herpes, man. It's waiting to fucking get you when you least expect it. But no, it's one of those things, you know, like he said, get rid of the shit, start over, fucking blast it, clean it, be done with it. Don't use the fucking same pots. Don't use any of that shit. Get rid of it. Start like it's brand fucking new. That's how you know you've got or are going to be getting rid of it, because if you try to keep any of that shit, that cut, you know, all that stuff is just going to transfer it right back to you. You'll keep it healthy for a while, but the second you slip, out it fucking comes.
That's what happened. I ran the clones. They looked beautiful. I started some seeds. They looked beautiful. Everything was great. I went on vacation down to party with you animals. I came back and I had yellow leaves with fucking rust spots and shit. And I'm like, and my autoflowers had flowered. Just like I opened the tent. I'm like, okay. What do we do here? Nothing was like optimal. You know, when you open a tent and there's like 15 plants, not one of them was like, hey, look what I did when you were gone. All 15 of them were like, man, I fucking tried, Dad. Like, they're all failure kids. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, I just want to shut her down and fucking try again.
Yeah.
There's not much.
I hear you.
Like, I'm a positive guy. I'm like, you know, let's just push forward and do what we can, and let's use it as a learning experience. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. I'm at that point. I'm like, no, cut her down. She's done. Septoria lasts 9 months outside. Yeah, see, no thanks. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't know if it is that, but it's something. Something's happened. And I've piggybacked it somehow onto the next generation. And yeah, I think you tear everything down, get that room retrofitted for my little apartment set up there, and then pop the tents back up. I have room for a 4x8, but then I won't have divided grow spaces. So I'll have to do, I don't know how that'll work, because, well, you'll have to veg and flower. I kind of like having a veg tent and a flower tent, and if something needs to go from, because they all don't grow the same. You know, you can't just, it's a lot nicer to be able to have a veg area and a flower area and just put in place as you see fit, right? I don't know if I want to get back onto that veg the whole run, flower the whole run cycle. With my house plants too, I'm becoming such a plant nerd, plant daddy that I just fucking, there's so many of them around here. I counted them the other day and there's over 100 plants that require my fucking attention. I'm like, I may have bit off a little more than I could chew right now. I got so much going on, but
don't worry, man. At some point, you start looking at one, you go, you're sick. I'm going to sit you outside for a little bit. And then it's like, well, all of a sudden I don't have that plant anymore. you slowly find your manageable plant count by removing a few of them to the outdoors to take care of them.
It was funny because I'm like, maybe it'll be easy because a lot of people say that house plants, like they want to die, you know, they kill themselves a lot of times. And I'm like, okay, so some of them will call themselves, and I'll wean the crowd here. I know they're just propagating and growing. I'm like, fuck. But it's so nice to have, like when I walk downstairs, I have a plant wall. You guys have seen. I come downstairs and I turn the lights on and I check them all out. There's like 40 some odd plants on that little rack. And by the time I'm done that, like it's a good way to wake up. It's not like they're, you know, sentient beings. Some people would argue that, but they need a little attention from me, some water, and, you know, turn the thing towards the light or whatever, right? So it's a nice little project I got going. It's fun.
Hey,
and there's some like this.
Man, what's your bullshit? Why's it got to be on my band? No, man. Fucking,
I can do better. You know,
the Banana Daddies or the fucking Hawaiians, right? Why they got to go on mine? Yes. Fuck.
Yeah, that's funny. Where's my coffee? Yeah, shout out to Blue Kiss. I got a nice big Blue Kiss stick. I showed you guys this already. And the Fuego. Shout out to Raider. And then the whole lot of us, the Garden Club.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I proudly had those hats strapped to the back of the bike on the ride home. So anyone driving behind that bike knew. Not that anyone would give a shit, but we do. Coffee's just about done. Oh.
Yeah.
There's the girl. Yeah, these things are pretty crazy. The Banana Daddy Black Widows. Anyone in Canada that wants any, get at me.
Yeah,
they're special.
That was one of the better fucking flowers at Booth Camp, that's for sure. She had a specialness to her.
Well, like as an outdoor grower too, I'm sure indoors just as good, but the natural structure of this one was just awesome. The spacing of it being like the spacing of the flowers and the spacing of the branches. So just one of those ones that seems to be pretty nice. Nice big leaves, just kind of thinnish, you know. Beautiful. I just love this time of year, man.
Right? I got back there to get some pictures and shit. I still got to get the garden cleaned up. It's about that time of year, you know, where garden, the veggie garden and everything's getting shut down. I'm going to pull everything, get it all fucking mulched and ready for next season. So I got to get back there and do that. But I've got two. So I've got that Granddaddy Black back there, and I've got the Deep Candy. And you can see the Granddaddy Black is wanting to finish already. You know, the bottoms, leaves everywhere in it are starting to fade, pull out. You know, you just see it wanting to be, you know, giving up the goat. So I'm amazed at how fast that thing's finishing and how well it's doing outdoors, because it has some monster fucking buds on it. So we'll see, you know, come harvest time and come you know, where the nights are getting a little cooler with a little more humidity, how well everything takes over to that bad boy. I've got one of like the Hawaiian black widows out in a pot, but much like yours, I think I might get to do something with that somewhere around January. It might be fucking done. So we'll see what it does and how long it ever fucking takes to get there. But currently it looks great. It's
cupcake squash.
But currently it's got some nice purple and fucking pink pistils on it too. So it loves the outdoors, getting all that fucking wonderful character. Dude, is that fucking cricket in my shit or in fucking G-Bays?
That's mine. It's over here somewhere.
Oh, it sounds so loud. It sounds like it's like right behind me.
I got my potatoes out the other day. I dug up, I don't know, a dozen or two, a couple plants. So that's kind of neat. Family got to eat those. I got a whole round of these cupcake squashes kicking off again, round 2. I don't know if we'll make it, but a couple more butternuts down here. This one I don't know, should let them go a little longer, I guess. I already have a couple in the house that the kids haven't eaten. A nice big pepper in here. Take this, it's got a little hole in it, so I don't risk it. A little bug get in there. Yeah. There's pepper and a little butternut squash. Or cupcake squash, they're called. They're those like weird hybrid ones. They're like zucchini and squash together. Oh, come on. A little harvest. My beans are all done. My peas are all done. Got a good couple meals off them. I harvested a shit ton of kale yesterday. What do we do with kale, folks? I grew it just because kale, and now I got a fucking big bin of
compost.
Buy an iguana.
Right into the compost. I was just gonna dice it up and put it in my smoothies.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. If you like that green taste, but it has a tendency to fucking take over the smoothie.
Kale chips.
Yeah, kale chips work.
Freeze it
if you like the fucking taste of kale. Well, if you freeze it, you bust the walls and you make it all floppy and
it goes weird.
Yeah, it gets weird.
Right now I got it in the fridge in a big Tupperware layered with some wet paper towels.
Some people like blanch it and put it on shit, real quick. Yeah, you just gotta like it, man. But mom used to fucking make smoothies with it, but a little bit goes a long goddamn way.
Yeah.
I think we used to grow it, and I used to just grow it to fucking feed my iguana. So,
yeah, I just figured for this. That's why I put it in there for the smoothies, but then I never really got to it, and it got gigantic. Like these are like elephant ear sized pieces of kale. So I chopped them down into sections to get them to fit into a bin, and I just, like I said, got some wet paper towel in there. I find that's a good way to keep leafy stuff. But
yeah, I've never found it just to be I always found it just to be too bitter and green.
Yeah, I got the fresh blackberries from that monstrosity of a bush that I had there. I cut it down the other day, which is, you guys that were here will appreciate this. I actually had to give it a haircut. Like you can just see, I came right in and just. It's not the most ideal for production, but the amount I use this year and the canes that are going to produce next year, minus what I hacked off there, is the math is good.
Yeah, that's where fucking I'm with Rusty on this one. If you got some kale, it's great for fucking dry it out, crumble it up, and then use it as a fucking top dress for the rest of your garden. Lots of nitrogen and magnesium in it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about a fucking dry amendment, a dry amendment is nothing more than just fucking broken up old organic matter, right? So literally, you just dry that shit up, bust it up. I do the same with old fucking trim leaves and things sometimes. You just dry them out, powder them down, throw them back in the fucking garden.
Yeah, so I still got a shit ton. You can see I just hacked out the fucking main center of it. But some of there's a lot of slug damage and shit, but I could definitely take the rest of those out. Dry them out, powder them up. But I won't because I'm lazy and I'll just buy a bag of Guy Green again. That's a good idea. What I'll probably do is just chop and drop it in there. This is what I do with everything here, is just chop and drop it.
Yeah, there you go. great. It makes a good fucking cover because a lot of your lower detrivores actually will eat the shit out of it and quickly because it is a nice meaty fucking thing. So it's real good for them. But Colton had a good one in here. Check that shit out.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It would be kind of like what, like a collard green sort of thing. Spinach, you know, cooked in the same fashion.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. If you can cook a collard green, if you like mustard greens, if you cook any of them that way, just do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Swiss chard's kind of the same.
Yeah. Exactly. You cook it up just like that.
Rusty, no one eats kale because they like it. No one. Want to fight about it? I haven't picked a piece of it and just munched on it like I would beans and shit like that. It smelled almost broccoli to me, like when I snapped a piece off. Yeah, it smells just like broccoli. Almost even stronger. Ugh, that is pretty fucking gross. But if it's healthy for me in my middle age, I'll fucking start chowing it down.
Here's an idea. Grow something that tastes good and is also healthy. Hey.
Why would you want to
Well,
do
I got
like
the strawberries, right? I've been trying that, but the damn fucking squirrels, man. Every time I look out my window, they're out here sitting on the railing, just fucking. So next year with the strawberry baskets, because I've told you guys before, I scored like 50 to 100 of these hanging baskets. So like these gray baskets with the hangers on them. We were doing some landscaping for a lady and she was getting rid of a bunch. I just go scoop them up. So I got 50 of them. Easy. So I want to build something where I can get them up there hanging. So there is no access other than birds, but birds can get it anyway. But so they're not just accessible to these fucking tree rats. Yeah. Because I've lost more of my strawberries to the squirrels than any of them. And like I just eat them out here. I don't really like harvest them in baskets and bring them in the house and freeze them. They're just too delicious. So I just eat them all before anything happens. But it's a piss off when you're watching the squirrels eat your morning snack.
Get a pellet gun, shoot squirrels.
I could do that. I do got a pellet gun downstairs. You'd figure with two large dogs roaming the yard all the time that the scent would keep the rodents away.
No, dude. If anything, it's like squirrels get that fucking more like cocky and arrogant. They'll just sit it like just up a tree out of the reach of the fucking dogs, like squeaking at them and driving them fucking nuts.
That's hilarious. What a beautiful day out here, though. It is nice. It's been like this last couple of days. It's going to get up into the 80s, basically 78, 82, somewhere in that range. I was watching those videos yesterday with the squirrel flingers. And people were setting traps and sending squirrels flying. That's always a good time. I think I'd feel bad because they'd end up in a neighbor's yard. Still be pretty fucking comical. But yeah, is anyone what do you guys think of 5-gallon pail burping systems? Have you seen these where they have the 5-gallon pails with the lids with little check valves and it's got a little unit on the wall, and every hour or so it pushes through so much, cubic foot of air to replace? You guys ever seen this or heard of it?
I've seen them. I'm not entirely like don't know anybody who's used them or anything. So I feel like I've seen some like totes for like the big black and yellow like brute totes to do curing that is a little I don't know, less interactive. It just kind of does it. A little system you put on there or some shit. I'm not sure, but for the amount that you've got, I can imagine it's got to be something that would you got to look into, because it's got to be a lot of work just fucking keeping the weed proper after harvest, right? Just fuck.
What I would do is a 4x4 tent holds, the floor of that tent will hold, you know, a lot of jars. So basically I go from lasagna pans where they're trimmed and dried to the point where they can go into a jar, and then I put them into a jar with lids on, and then I do the burping regimen, you know what I mean? But the problem is, like, taking the lids off, rotating a glass jar, putting it back down, letting the lid sit for 10 minutes times 175 turns into a fucking process. And then by the third or fourth time you do it, you start to cut corners, and you know what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, if I can get larger containers that have like those Gamma lid food safe barrels or something like that. And my buddy had this. He had 2 or 3 5 gallons with the rubber seal lids, like the food storage lids, and he had grommets and air lines going into them. And I forget exactly how he had it set up, but he had an air pump on the wall with a timer and all this shit. And he's like, 4 or 5 times a day, this pump runs for 15 minutes. So it just pushes new air into the buckets. So it just kicks off that old off gas shit out of the bucket. Nothing fancy, but he's like, it works, and never have to worry, because any moisture buildup every 15 minutes would be alleviated, right? So it's like, this is something I might look into. I also like the hands-on part, like the hand trimming and the rotating each jar. I get to look in each jar, and I turn it a couple times while I'm looking at it and see the buds. Because with outdoor, you know, let's not be kidding ourselves. This is outside, so I'm bringing things into a sealed container from outdoors. The possibility, excuse me, of a little bug or something being in there is fucking high. I do wash my bud and everything, but you're gonna, you know, I don't have a screening process or anything, so it's nice to have each jar in my hand and looked at. So I may not turn away from that, but still. This year's gonna be different. I don't know. We'll see. I got some new recruits, so we'll see what happens. Okay, Kingfisher saying there was some talk about it last week on Small Pokers. Nice, I'll check that out. Magpie, what's up, brother? Still on the goods. We got the Nakatomi number 2. Thanks everyone for joining too. Nice, easy Sunday morning with my can of fam. Love it. Positive vibes.
Yeah. We got all BAMs in the room now. So, well, we have one that isn't BAM. I'm being real mean to this one over here, but this one got like tortured, transplanted. It needs to get some of the old taken off of it so the new growth can actually be seen, because it's recovering super nice. I wasn't gonna put it in here, but I needed to fill this space right here. So we've got a little bit of since we're getting close to flower, we inoculated with some new mites, some new lace wings. That's what it seemed like as I've kind of come through the room. It's what I've seen that I've been kind of lacking looking around the room. I've seen just a touch of thrip damage. So nematodes will be the next thing that comes through also. So, but before, as you can see, this one's killing the fucking trellis, but everything's coming right up to trellis. So we're right at time to get flipped. And typically, you know, this one's just a little behind. It's the way it always runs because this light's just not as powerful as what we got over here. So, but in this bed, we've got Bambi. This is the cut that Clay gave me. On each side of it, I have Yee's cut of the BAM. This is Grandi Floral by Zope, I believe is what they're, or it's 777 by Zope. I'm not quite sure. Clay, if he's in there, he can tell you. Everybody else is a different pheno of BAM. I wanted to get through some seeds and really see I have been screwing up as I got back. This bed's been like wet for a while, so I knew that it's wet and it's hot. And I know these things, so you know what do I do but feed it some more because you know I'm smart like that. So we're struggling through some of my dumbass decisions, but everybody, you know, this one is taking it, as you can see, a lot harder than some of the others. I find that fine. It's a great stress test. It pisses me off, but that's what happens. But everybody is really taking nice, looking fucking fantastic. We've got lace wing cards up here. You could even, let's see if we can see that little guy fucking run. It ain't gonna focus. There are a couple little of them running around on the plants now. We got nice size little stems for indoors, you know. So things are kicking ass. Looking good. We're probably going to flip in the next week, I'd imagine. Probably going to wait for this one here to catch up a little bit, and then get that Zope one cleaned up in the back to get it checked out, just to make sure. But I'd say we're about a week out of flip. I'll come in here. I'll give everything a super deep clean. I'll scrub down the walls, the ceiling, all the trellising, the fans, everything will get one real big deep clean before flower starts. But that's what'll happen right now. We got lights up to like 80% right now, getting them ready, which is also kind of what's irritated them a little bit. If I back them down a little bit, I could probably ease up on this plan a little bit, but everybody gets a little stretchier. Things are really like these down here. I did a big, I've trimmed them out a couple times to try to really encourage like this one here to get moving. I'm going to put a little bit of side trellising on here, but I'm pretty confident that even this one will make it up to this top right here. Within by the time I flip, and then another week or two later, it'll be up there. So we're really just prepping for flower, kind of as you can see, getting everything cleaned up. This is all getting cleaned up, specifically for the LED style, right? This isn't like an outdoor, like G-Bay's cleaning up. We're trying to flatten this canopy, and I want to grow a canopy here of buds. So everything I do, you're going to see this one, if it doesn't even make it up to at least this trellis, it'll fucking come off after flip. But everything up here should just poke out and be able to fill this space super nice. So I'm really happy with the way everything's looking. I was trying to think. I was messaging, I believe, Clay the other day. Turn this up a little bit. This one here smells like straight fucking kerosene when you cut on it. So like every time you rub it or you cut something off of it, it's just got a distinctly like kerosene smell. So I'm very curious to see how this one's going to play out in the end. So real excited for how this room's coming across. We've got the clone dome. Everybody is looking fantastic. These are all just clones of what's in that room, because obviously if there's some fire, we need to get this shit out to some people. But clones are looking fucking fantastic. Everybody's looking great. I raised my light way up above it so that I cured some of that issue. This light was really just beating down on them. We got the veg in here, kind of cleaning up. I overwatered that one, but I need to get it fed a little harder. Everybody else is looking pretty good though. This clone was having, this is a Bambi clone, I believe. Yeah, that one's Bambi. It was having a little rough time kind of getting started, but it's even popping off real nice now. That was its sister, like at the same time. So we got yeast going on back there. It's finally kicked itself into gear. So we've got some cherry reel and some purple heart. Send a big shout out, Big Word. He brought those to booth camp. I I thought I could definitely smell like a real fresh cherry possibility in that jar. I never got to smoke any of the cherry real, but I smelled something I really liked in there. So I was curious. I got me some home. And the Purple Heart, always down for some 1-to-1. We have the Long Valley Royal, Kush. And I think I misidentified. I think I have 2 fucking males. So right now I've got another one over here in the test tent. I'll go over there in a second. But let's see. We got Black Forest right here. We got 2 Hawaiians right there. Hawaiian will get thrown into the room again soon. And then I believe I'm going to make that one a mother plant for a little while. So I'll get some clones off it. And actually, the next big run in the room after the BAM's down might just be a full run of the Hawaiian. Because fucking love that stuff. So we'll come over here. Oh, fucking. And then in the tester tent. Hey, don't do that. All right, and in the tester tent, this is the Ghost Walker OG. Looking real nice right now. These top nodes are starting to get a little color, starting to fade a bit. So these are, I don't know, day 50-ish, somewhere around there. So that's the God damn it, yep, Granddaddy Black right there. It is just doing its thing. It's about done. It's pushing new hairs. It's fading all over the place. It's drying out on its own. It's that thing runs fucking quick, man. So I think looks like probably day 60. Maybe I'll give that. I don't even know if I'll give that 10 more days. So that'll be coming out soon. The Ghost Walker is definitely going to get at least 10 more days. But you can see the fade kind of starting to happen in it also. So it's coming across the Long Valley Royal Kush right here. So this is one that I thought for sure was male. So I just wanted to kind of flip it, see what was going to happen. I didn't mind the structure, kind of wanted to see. So I threw this flower to see what's going to happen. And then I threw this Oaxacan, which is quite hungry. I need to feed it a lot harder, which will happen here probably later on. Later on day, I got to do a bunch of garden chores. So, so I thought the Oaxacan might be a neat little addition. So that's another one via Clay. So always shout out to him. Good fucking brother, man. Yeah, you look some of these lowers on that Ghost Walker, just looking pretty. So
Looking hella good, dude.
and as always, say bye to the ladies. Bye, ladies.
Your turn, G-Bay. Oh, it was going to be the G-Bay show for the next however long.
I did the tour, man. We're just chilling with this CBD.
Oh, no, not about tour. You were just going to entertain us. You can do a song. You can do a dance. We're not fussy. You can tell jokes. We like jokes. Hey, see, there you go.
I'm just going to enjoy this beautiful Ontario weather today. I'm usually we're into the chillies by now. Kind of not chillies, but like, it's not 80 degrees usually right now. So this plant is loving it. It's like, yeah, this one's way ahead of the rest. It's just soaking up that sunshine. Very nutty flavor. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Very blank. There's not much to it, but I'm gonna have to get a hold of Kazoo and get the details on it because pretty nice. Nice big thick flowers. Lots of trichome coverage. Real nice.
You'll be a rich man soon. See that, G-Bay? We'll just start stuffing you with fucking, I guess, loonies.
Oh. No, thanks. No magic mark. Oh, fuck. You never know, though, in today's age. Shit. Don't judge. You see me out there doing that. Kids gotta eat.
Jimmy's going to be on OnlyFans soon.
No. My feet are ugly. I can't dance. It hangs to the right, you know. None of it's good. I'm radio voice. I'm not TV. Yeah, only Dan's and Magic Mark. There you go. You got the package right there with the garden club. That's how we fund it. Oh shit. No, Colton's saying the loony toss here. No, that's not
The loony toss? I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's only dangerous if you're an asshole about it. Remember, so if anyone that is unaware, a lot of the times you go to a female stripper place, at least here in Canada, and they'll either put like a loony or a toonie up against their snatch or a poster up against their snatch, and if you can throw the toonie, knock it out, you're right, you win. I remember watching a buddy of mine it wasn't intentional, just one of those drunken, stupid, not thinking moments where he grabbed his fucking loony out of his pocket. You know how you used to be able to flick your fucking coins and launch them? He did that and hit her in the fucking eyebrow and split her fucking eyebrow open. Guess how long it took us to get booted the fuck out of that club?
10
Like,
seconds.
it's like
Quickly.
yeah, one of those things where like even in his state, like one of those, as soon as you did it, you knew you fucked up. I don't even think it actually hit her yet before he was like, oh.
He's already standing.
And then
Like,
we're
it was
just sitting there
spinning
like,
in the air, making that fucking zippy sound, and he was like, fuck.
well, and we're sitting there like, dude, did you seriously just fucking do that? Like, you know, we're sitting there, pervert row, at a Peeler bar where, you know, it's the action spot, I guess, you know, like having a good time. All of a sudden, my buddy like basically maims the stripper. She's freaking bleeding. And you're just like, it was, you feel bad, but it was embarrassing as all hell because then you're those guys next time you go back in there, right? Like,
You don't go back.
We went back. It was the only strip club in town.
That's a walk of shame right there. Right?
Yeah,
is this a normal? Oh fuck! Is this a normal thing? Y'all got like games at the strip club? Like they just set shit up?
I haven't been in years. I wouldn't know. I'm a good boy. Took me a while to reform myself. Those are the places where that shit is seated. I will not go back.
Why not? Ain't nothing wrong with looking at a good looking thing. Shaking
Well,
up.
hey, no. I just, yeah, I'll get that at that. I like the private shows, I guess you'd say.
Oh,
I'm just gonna shut up right now before I dig any fucking.
oh, keep going, G-Bag.
Yeah,
You
you're
know
doing good.
Like we used to get this on a Raider on Friday nights. You know, we'd get him getting fucking baked around the, you know, after Mark. He'd start just saying some ridiculous shit. Be like, I can't stop. So that's you Sunday morning. Let's go. Come on, let's talk about it.
No. I've kind of, you know, entered bachelor mode, so I'm like on a different path now. But fuck, coffee's good. I'll tell you that. It's been a great morning, guys. Coffee, cannabis, garden tours. Fucking loving it. Sun is shining. I got to teach my daughter a thing or two. She's like, the hot water don't work. She was just turning the shower. We have one of those twisty shower things. She just wasn't turning it enough.
Great minds think alike, buds. Cheers, brother.
Well, what are you saying here? You Canadians would fit right in here. What am I doing?
Good times.
So you guys got any big plans for the rest of the fucking day?
Garden
This is
work.
it. Dropping the daughter off at a friend's, and I guess it'll just be me and the boy here. I'm probably going to be doing garden work and just working on the house. Yeah, I got to transition that room, right? So sooner the better, I guess. I start work tomorrow too, so I got to gather up all my welding gear and make sure got my chipping hammer and my helmets and my grinders and all that shit.
You're lucky you came on a fucking enduro because I was gonna send you back with a backpack full of welding gear.
Yeah. Well, you gave me a cool ass beanie to start with. That's good enough. And the best part about it is I can wear that one my first day.
I love it.
I know. Boss man and me were already talking, and we share similar interests. So
nice. Well, you said he's only a few blocks from you, so at some point he has had to have smelled you, and I have to assume that everybody within your town knows that you're that guy.
Yeah, Neighborino over to the side here, he's the one that kickstarted this whole program, right? I wasn't really game for this kind of shit, but he just fired it up one year and was like, fuck it, whatever. See his shit from space on Google Maps. And I was like, you know what, all right, fuck, 1 or 2. And then I was like, whatever, got my ACMPR license. And, you know, away we went. But I also grow stuff like this. You know, peppers, squashes.
This is extremely funny to me.
No. Back to the grind, G-Bay. You know it, Victoria. Fucking literally.
Hey, I thought you were a welder, not a grinder. Come on.
Well, that's it. You still got to use it a little bit. No, the stuff I'm going to be doing, just a quick little welder's talk here, guys. Doing a lot of bigger stuff for like under bridges and stuff like that. Like I forget what the type of blocks he was saying they were, but like shoring of all different sorts. It's a lot bigger stuff, bigger construction work. So on major infrastructure as opposed to docks and stuff. So switching it up, but whatever. This is a pathway for me to get into the union locally, and then hopefully use that to my advantage later on in life with a truck. So we'll see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll try that. We'll try that avenue again. G-Bay, the business owner. Fuck, we'll see how that goes.
Well, hey, man, you figured out how not to fuck up.
Yeah, well, I only ran for 1 year, and I put myself a little bit behind in taxes. Like I had the money there, but then I had to do some other shit with it. You know the story, blah blah blah. So I got to get a proper account to get that figured out. But I'm not. It's nothing major. You know, maybe 20 grand or something like that. So it'll only take me a year or 2 to get out of that hole. I'm not worried about it.
Hey, when it comes to business, that's a fucking easy thing to get out of. You be all right.
No, it's just whatever. Yeah.
Yep. No, I have officially kind of vaped out my basement. So, yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it when you got air moving everywhere because there's grows and you still got a fucking cloud and just fucking rolling. Right, ladies. Now you know what's expected of you.
Yeah, get to it.
Get to it.
I'm pretty excited for the new venture. As anything new, there's a little bit of, you know, anxiety and a little bit of gut-wrenching feeling going on where you're entering a new environment with new people. But I'm a pretty chameleon-like dude when it comes to workplaces. If everyone's chill, I'll make my way in there. You know what I mean? As long as you don't have some jackass piping off first day. Oh, look at that shit. The thing is, you get a bunch of arrogant fucking welders in one room and they start lipping. It's like, fuck, man. No one's backing down here.
No way. I've never heard of a fucking lippy welder. That's not a thing. I figure it makes you lippy, right? You spend all day in a fucking hood talking to yourself, you know. So the second you get to finally talk to somebody else, you got to talk shit to them.
Well, apparently my coworker's name is Axel, so I don't know if that's a given or a nickname.
I could go with that's a good sign.
Yeah, kick-ass group of dudes for sure. So it's like, and it's awesome because I've seen this guy's truck for years start, and when I seen his first truck, I was like, wow, cool, man. That's gonna be me one day, you know. And I did. I got my own truck running at one point, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But anyways, now I'm teamed up with this guy, and he's got a couple trucks now, and you know, I've watched his thing grow. So it's gonna be neat to be part of the process. He's local, and we've known each other just by name because we're such a small town area, right? Like he's got at me for work before, and I've just never been able to help him out because I've been busy or doing my own thing or whatever. But the stars have aligned now, and here we are. Simcoe Welding Design, here I come.
Right on. It'll be a good time for you, man.
Damn right, Dan. You know what? The only motherfuckers know more than welders, fucking millwrights.
Oh, them HVAC guys are pretty fucking knowledgeable too, apparently.
Yeah, there's some know-it-all motherfuckers too. I mean, at least that's what I've heard.
Don't ask them about cubic foot movement of air and bullshit. They're just Dan's getting a little boner right now, probably.
No, you want to give an H guy back like fucking? You start talking about inches of vacuum. Ooh, all them motherfuckers. What? Huh?
It's funny because each trade is like general knowledge of a lot of things, and then there'll be that point where it boils down. Like us, it's metallurgy. A lot of like other trades just never have the need to divulge themselves into that, right? And then with electricity, electricians and stuff, there's a lot of stuff where it gets into wavelengths and this and that and shit that we don't ever need to fucking know. Carpentry, same thing. You're gonna get into some fitting joints that the average guy will never hear about or whatever. So we each got our own, but you can get any tradesman together and they're going to start fucking talking bullshit. So I don't drink beer anymore. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Everywhere you go where beer's drank, people just spout nonsense.
Just a bunch of people talking about their work shit.
Yeah. Smoking's better. People have a puff and then shut the fuck up.
Hey, yo.
All right, y'all. Looks like it's about that time to shut her down. I want to thank everyone in the live chat for hanging out with us this morning. Always makes me feel good to know that we've got 57 people. There saw 60 in there earlier that are willing to get up at 6 a.m. my time and come hang out with us. That was very, very cool. I hope everybody has a kick-ass day today. And I guess we'll see you Tuesday night. We're going to have Jimmy Toucan and another buddy of his are going to show up and we're going to talk some plants and some breeding and all that other good stuff. Going to be one hell of a time. See y'all then. You guys got anything else you want to chip in before we get out of here?
No Tuesday morning?
I'm not there, so I don't talk about that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Tuesday morning, we're going to continue on this month. We'll be talking a little bit about some breeding, the shit that we do. So that'll be Tuesday morning. Yeah, other than that, then we got Jimmy coming on Tuesday evening. And we bringing the shit show back, or are we just going to kind of be doing that just here and there from now on?
I have no interest in doing it every week. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
Once or twice a month kind of thing. It became to the point where it was just really a dead horse, a 2 or 3 person panel at the best of times. And when we went from having constantly 10, 12 people panels, it wasn't doing its thing anymore. So if people want to show up and hang out once or twice a month, we'll hang out once or twice a month. And if it doesn't look like people want to do that, then we'll just
if anyone ever wants to do if there's ever any interest, like hit us up, and because if we're sitting around on a Friday and we get 5 or 6 people saying, hey, we'd like to.
That's actually a great point right there too. That could be a thing too, where if I'm not there, doesn't necessarily mean someone else can't. But I'm at the point where I actually really enjoy being able to go do something on a Friday now, because for 3.5 years, it was every single Friday we're sitting here hanging out, and it's always a good time. But what about when something happens or something comes up? You want to go camping? I ain't going camping this time here. I'll put that out there. It's fucking cold. I stay inside where it's warm. But you know what I mean, right? So we'll
we shit show on Discord every day. Yes, we do, King. That's freaking free. Yeah, if anyone misses the shit show and likes that interaction, join the Caribou Discord.
Yeah, link is in the
just
description.
As good or better than the shit show every day at some point. Sometimes you look in there, there's 1 or 2 people. Sometimes you look in there, there's 8 to 12. So it's, it's a good time in there. It can get silly, but it can get knowledgeable too. So
one thing I've forgotten, congrats to Small Tubes.
Our winner, big winner.
Yes, our winner for the day. Who wasn't Big Word? Ha 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 ha.
You get such a sense of satisfaction for that one, eh? Big Word's just like shit. All right, I love all you guys. We're gonna get some rock and roll, and then we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Everyone, have a great weekend. See you Tuesday.
Take me down to the graveyard. Show me around. nothing, and I dug myself a hole.